Hello guys and girls and welcome. This is the Canberra Dota 2 LAN, supported by, the Barracks, LAN and Sky Internet Cafe. I am Only Logic. I am here as usual with Cold Blood from GameStar.
How are you, Logic? Good morning, ladies and gents, or good afternoon. It's just past 12. We'll be stopping for our lunch soon, but not before we get into this exciting game. We'll go ahead and jump into the hero selection. We're actually rocketing through now. The first couple of bands took a while. We have, she said she was level 18 as our Radiant, and our Dire is AVANT, GARDE, YMC. We forgot to banner up, so hopefully we can remember who they are. They banned out the Doom and the Faceless Void. Nothing too surprising about that one. And the Lycan and the Nature's Prophet banned out by the level 18 boys. So obviously they were watching last game and they don't fancy going against Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. The Nature's Prophet being a ban out is probably obvious, as well as the Lycan. The Avant, the two bans that we've seen every single game are Doom and Faceless Void, probably heroes that they just don't want to come up against. And they've banned out the Wraith King because of how much we've seen the Wraith King play. We've got, she said she was level 18 here, which did actually win in the first bracket. They did actually beat Yowie Power, and now they're coming up against Avant. But I like to point out the heroes that have gone into the picks here: Razor, Viper, and Tidehunter. Viper being a very strong mid hero, but for all of the wrong reasons.
5 seconds remaining.
He bullies out a lot of people, and Razor, similar to him, ranged bully who likes to pick up a mech early on with that lane dominance that they get. I'm assuming this would be a Razor off lane. Razor has 100% win rate so far in the games that we've casted in the previous 3. We'll have to see if level 18 can continue that streak. We'll have the Naga Siren coming out along with the Skywrath and the Brewmaster from Avant. So the Brewmaster finally making it through the bans. Skywrath, we did see him played very well in our earlier game. And the Naga Siren, that could go support, but it also could go mid. And with that pick, I'm thinking it'll be a mid.
Team pick.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm actually thinking that this could actually be a Naga Siren carry. We could see a Naga Siren carry being supported by the Skywrath Mage and the Witch Doctor and maybe even the Brewmaster in the off lane. But it's really up to speculation at this point. On the side of she says she was level 18, it seems pretty obvious that we're going to have a Viper in either the mid or the carry position, almost certainly mid. We could have Razor mid. Razor probably best off as a carry in this position, but she said she was level 18, really need to pick up some supporting power. They've got good right click from Razor, they've got good right click from Viper. Now they need some more nuke damage, something like a Venge, Lion, Crystal Maiden, and these sorts of heroes that I love to see.
Yeah, I think Lion.
Lich even.
Yeah, Lich would be great. Oh, there's a Shadow Shaman. I can't believe he snuck through this long. He's been first picked quite a few of the games this morning. And I mean, he just offers so much with the plethora of CC that he has. The utility of the Mass Serpent Wards. We saw the Ether Shock burst in the previous game, so a lot of advanced picks are being taken up against them in this one with the Razor, the Shadow Shaman. We saw the Tidehunter early on, not as successful as the team that used him would have preferred. Witch Doctor, I'm excited to see a lot of low-range heroes on the side of level 18. So the bouncing cask, I think paralyzing cask will be bouncing around doing a lot of CC. Invoker and Pugna were the bans out, so Avant are expecting some pushing power and they want to take the Pugna out of the pool. And what do you think Avant go for? Oh, Weaver. He's been banned a couple times. This will be his first showing today, Logic.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I love seeing the Weaver pick. I think Weaver's a very... I don't think he's an individually strong hero, but I think that he's very, very good, especially in this sort of lineup. I mean, a Witch Doctor with a Weaver can be endless chase. I'm not sure where the Naga Siren's going in now. We could have a Weaver off lane and maybe even a Brewmaster mid against the Viper.
Yeah, Brewmaster mid would make the most sense to me.
If Skywrath Mage went mid, he'd have a lot of trouble versus that Viper. Sure, he'd be able to harass the Viper, but the Viper would probably do even more harass onto the Skywrath Mage. Skywrath Mage used to be quite a popular mid hero, but he's now drifted into the support in the current meta.
Yeah, his burst damage with no items is just so massive. They like to combo him with a Faceless Void. You get the Chrono down, the Mystic Flare, and you will be deleting someone without them able to do anything about it.
Yeah, definitely. She said she was level 18, probably wanting to wonder what a pusher that they want to pick up next. I think they probably weren't expecting this Weaver pick, just like we weren't, and they're probably thinking, how do we counter this Weaver pick? And now they know Shadow Shaman's a really strong counter to Weaver, purely because of the huge amount of lockdown that they have. It means that Weaver can't Shikuchi away, but they're probably going to need something that has the potential to support while still carrying a gem, maybe being tanky, even something like an Ogre Magi.
Ogre Magi is the other two-headed being. So the lineup here by Shikuchi level 18 looking pretty solid to be a Razor carry with the two supports, Ogre Magi, Shadow Shaman,
Tidehunter in the off lane being tanky and Viper going into the mid. On the side of Avant, it's a little bit more obscure. It's not entirely sure. Witch Doctor and Skywrath Mage are really the only two strong supports, but the other three are very interchangeable.
Yeah, they have the, they can transition into the carry role. I'm excited to see the... I was thinking something like a Bounty Hunter, just to get the track down onto Weaver, and he can provide a lot of money to his team. But happy to see the Ogre Magi. We did see him, I think, earlier on, or maybe that was yesterday. No, I think it was our first game today. We had an Ogre, and it didn't quite work out. No, that was last night. Sorry, Logic, I'm confusing you. Yeah. Last night I saw an Ogre Magi, and he really struggled to do anything.
Yeah, Ogre Magi, he can be a very strong hero. I won't say he's reliant on items. I will, however, say that he is definitely reliant on spells, and that's what causes him to, on his spells, on his levels, of course, but more so than any other carry, purely because his Ignite scales reasonably well, his Fire Blast scales very well, his Bloodlust even scales not even so much well that 16% move speed just feels like so much more than 10% move speed. This is what causes Ogre Magi to really be in the flux between very, very good, very, very strong, and very, very weak.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be interesting to see what strategies they push out here, because they've got a half ganking, half late game, half push, sort of a little bit of everything strategy, and it's the same thing that's coming out from the side of Avant here. They've got a little bit of pushing power, they've got a little bit of right click, they've got a little bit of gank, although I think that this game is going to be determined in the mid game with whoever wins the team fights.
Yeah, you're definitely right. The late game of Avant is so strong. They need to be stopped early, and K-Feeney has picked up the Naga Siren, so it could well be him going into the mid lane, trying to farm up to that Radiance very early on, and then get a Diffusal Blade in there. So, like you say, she said she was level 18. It's all up to them to make their mid game strong. They've got to push with those Servant Wards. They've got to team fight with the Ravage. And, I mean, Bloodlust is awesome on both Viper and Razor. Both of them love that attack speed, able to hit quite hard just by themselves. And now... So it looks like, yeah, I think what you said was right. Viper going mid, Razor going into the carry position. So I wonder if this means that we'll see a mech out of the Viper, and then the Razor could go for an Aghanims for pushing, or maybe even a Sanjin Yasha.
Yeah, definitely we could see a Manta style out of Razor, something that is really old meta as well, or anything that builds in from Ayasha, Sanjay Yasha, as we did here a lot. Is there going to be a smoke out? It looks like there might be a smoke. No, there are pings coming out. The Tidehunter is reasonably out of position, but you can see he has gone boots first. And one of the things that Dota players keep saying to LoL players is you never go boots first, ever, ever, ever. This is not the case for Tidehunter in the off lane, because he needs to try and get as many last hits as possible while not being in the line of fire.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that, especially if you're solo off lane, is to get those boots. So it's not necessarily a utility thing, it's more just a survivability thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Tidehunter's going to pick himself up the regen rune. Not going to do much of anything, just deny it from K-Feeny there. So we saw a blue ward placed by She Said She was level 18 over here. And it gets cleared out by the ward that was placed by AVANT. So actually it looks like we're going to have a Weaver mid by M. We'll go through the teams just before the action starts. Representing She Said She was level 18 here in the Canberra Dota 2 tournament. We have not Jessie as the Viper. As the Tidehunter, we have Exor, who has already been hexed up, I think. Ogre Magi will be played by Pure Steel, who said that he wanted to play Pudge, but I guess that didn't come to fruition. No is on the Razor, and Shadow Shaman played by Science.
Yeah, and we can see that the positioning of the Avant, you see where the Skywrath for A Mage is completely pushing out Ixor. Ixor hasn't gotten any experience yet, while the Brewmaster has, even though he is playing a little bit more aggressively. You can see the definite difference between the two teams and how Avant are already stacking and pulling creep waves there. Let's introduce Avant. Playing the carry Naga Siren is a Kayfoni, supported by Jan on the Skywrath Mage. The Little Eyes is played by the support Witch Doctor. In the mid, we've got M trying to fight off against that Viper, who's going to have his thing denied. Oh, and Viper might actually get the kill on the mid on M here. One more right click will do it. First blood goes to not Jessie on the Viper in the mid. And finally in the off lane, we've got Fantasy, which isn't looking like he's in a good position either. Is the stun going to come out? No, Pure Steel is not going to pull the stun. Fantasy is the off lane Brewmaster. So this is the second game we've seen where First Blood hasn't gone to the favoured team. Oh, but the Tidehunter going down in the top lane.
We've seen this too. AVANT, they feed First Blood and then they make it up somewhere else. Probably pick up another couple knowing their thing. But yeah, M goes a little bit too far under the tower and not Jessie abusing that one. Has 2 points in the corrosive skin, which is very smart against Weaver's going to be trying to auto attack and get the Shikuchi. They're trading back and forth. They look quite similar, except Weaver's along the ground and Viper's in the air. And the First Blood, oh no, sorry, not the First Blood, but a kill going up the top. Who actually picked it up? It was Split. So it must have been the creeps.
Oh, and Brewmaster's going in for the Viper in the middle. Now, Viper didn't know that the Brewmaster was there. And as you can see, the way that he's playing, he doesn't know that the Brewmaster there. He might have seen the Brewmaster, but the Brewmaster's going in now, and he's definitely going to do nothing. Okay, Viper turning around, one more right click.
Yeah, so comes up, whacks him with the stick, and just sprints off on his merry way.
Yeah, there's been a recent change to the way that Drunken Brawler works. If you have not been attacked in the last 10 seconds, sorry, if you have not attacked, or have not been attacked in the last 10 seconds, you will 100% to get a crit. So that can be used very effectively to just chip away, even in the off lane here. Not Jessie, once again going for the Viper there, who's cast the Swarm there, but they're not deciding to man fight, even though I think Jessie would have won that man fight. He's got his Nether Toxin as well as 3 points in his corrosive skin. He's going in one more time. He's going right up onto the high ground. He knows that he wants to try and get this Weaver, but Weaver has to play very, very safe. Viper doing a good job in this middle lane. He's already just level 5.
Oh, we got the smoke coming down from the supports AVANT at the top here. Logic, is not Jessie going to be punished? I think he is. He's got one charge his body. Yeah, he's going to get whacked. I don't think there's a lot they can do. We've got the supports teleporting in, going to take down the Weaver with the Ether Shock. And now the Shackle has gone on to the Witch Doctor as well as the Ignite, but he's got his Voodoo Restoration running. And that will be both the mids going down to the supports of each other. Nice teleport support coming in from She Said She was level 18. At the top, this is going to give Tidehunter some much needed room, going to pick up his, hopefully his 4th CS of the game. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, we have Razor at 19, the Brewmaster sitting at 1 last hit. So he wants to get to the Ags and the Blink as quickly as possible, and that is heavily delayed at this point.
Yeah, that was actually a really good team fight for She Said She was level 18, even though the Viper did die there, purely because the Viper actually lived through the death of the Weaver, meaning that he gets not only the gold from the Weaver, but the experience as well, and we can see he's level 6.5, while the Weaver still trailing down at level 4, not even level 5.
That's a great point you bring up, because that Viper Strike, I think it's called, on the Weaver definitely will cripple those all-ins that they've been doing into each other. Shikuchi still has a fair cooldown on it, gets 2 seconds less at each one, and now the supports of She Said She was level 18, they're posturing for some action.
So it looks like, yeah, the supports are going to roam around. They have been smoked up and they are coming into the high ground. Are they going to come up into the high ground? Yes, they are. They're looking for the lockdown. Will they be able to get it? Shadow Shaman has been revealed. Is he going to try and go in? Yes, he should go in. He should go in while Weaver's Shikuchi forward. It looks like they're really hesitant to go in, and you can see that that Weaver is playing very, very safe. The supports decide not to go in as the Tidehunter goes down, thanks to the dive on top again.
Okay, so that Voodoo Restoration, one of the best scaling abilities in the game with how much it can heal later on, as long as the mana cost can be maintained. A bunch of Naga Illusions going to take the Ether Shock damage. Paralyzing Cast comes out, does, oh, that's some very lucky bouncing around from that one. Tier 1 at the top takes about, I'd say, 4/10 of its health and damage, closer to half. As the farm for this Naga Siren is becoming really troubling here, Logic. The closer she gets to Radiance, the more that She Said She was level 18 are going to be in trouble.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's the moment that we see that Sacred Relic come out is when we know that the game's going to change into mid-game. We might see a little bit of tower pushing, but it's not quite mid-game yet until that Naga really gets her Radiance here. Is there going to be another man fight between M and Viper? No, the Corrosive Skin actually doing a lot of work on that Viper, and you can see the harass coming out onto the Weaver there, and not Jesse is just putting a lot of pressure onto the Weaver there. We're seeing more movement coming up from the Magi as well as Science, but they're just not moving in the right directions and the right position the way that they should be. They're not going down to the Brewmaster. Brewmaster would be a lovely counter, for example, to give Razor some much needed extra space. That's not happening. The top lane Tidehunter has already gone down twice, and as I said, this game is going to come down to how quickly Tidehunter gets his Blink Dagger ultimately. And we can see that Tidehunter's Blink Dagger is actually really delayed, and this tower has been pushed quite a fair bit.
Yeah, the T1 at the top sitting at half, like we said before. To be fair, it's very difficult to gank a Weaver, particularly when he picks up the time-lapse. It's interesting the Corrosive Skin max from not Jesse. Definitely makes sense here with how much they're going to be brawling with each other, and it allows him to come up ahead in those. Science going to drop a ward at the bottom rune spot, 20 seconds until the next rune will spawn. As Ixa, he could be in some trouble here.
Yeah, he's once again in not the right position. He's way too far forward, and he's just going to need to talk to his team and try and switch lanes. Pure Steel comes in, he goes in for the Witch Doctor, and that does actually save Ixor with the TPs. But Science and Pure Steel, you can see they're both level 3. Let's take a quick look at the level graphs here. Hero level, yeah, we can see that they're definitely by far the lowest ones down, and the way that they change this is they need to make ganks happen. So Viper's trying to go in. Viper's in the wrong position though, and there's going to be a TP in from Brewmaster as well.
Okay, so Fantasy, does he have the ultimate?
Will Brewmaster be able to go for Jesse? Science should turn this around and he should shackles him, and he didn't shackles him, and there's absolutely no reason not to run that shackles at that point there. They would have easily been able to get a kill on that Brewmaster, even with the drunken...
I think they didn't have vision of the supports of AVANT, so it was kind of safety for safety's sake. They don't want to get engaged upon by a Witch Doctor and a Skywrath Mage. That would be devastating. So,
Dyer's
you know,
bottom tower is
slow and steady wins the race, they say.
Forget about it.
Yeah, I'd like to point out something that I actually learned from playing Hearthstone, the trading card game made by Blizzard. They know it. One of the suggestions that if you're behind, you need to take more risks, and that might sound counterintuitive, but the idea is that if you're in front, you can afford to play it safe because you can just glide. You can play it safe, but if you're behind, and when you're coming up against a team like AVANT, you're basically always behind. You really do have to take risks because it's only by taking risks that you're going to be able to get ahead. Even if you don't get ahead, in essence, playing it safe is just not enough against a team that's got so much mid and late game potential.
You could describe AVANT by saying if you give them a hand, they'll take the whole arm.
Top thing is about to get knocked over.
We're going to see Fantasy come in with M as well. Is there anyone else here? Yeah, it looks like Witch Doctor's going to come in a little bit late. Not Jesse is actually going to ultimate off the Weaver, but where's the Brewmaster using his ultimate and getting rid of Shadow Shaman, putting Shadow Shaman right out of the fight there, and Pure Steel has gone in for M, and is Ixa going to come in and be able to get a click? Oh, the Ravage just missing! And Ixa's been put up again. Fantasy is really low health. M is just not in the right position, but there's a good rotation by Jan as well. He's able to get the kill. He's going to move on to this Tide Hunter who doesn't have any more mana. The middle tower taking a lot of damage with that team fight going well in favour of AVANT again.
Oh, look what M just found. How's that for timing? So the T1 at the top fell during all of that, and K-Feeney working on the tier 2. No, how is he? Oh, looks like he's going for a Vanguard, which I guess that's fair enough, yeah.
But for who?
The Razor.
Yeah, Razor Vanguard. I think that makes a little bit sense. A little bit of sense with the... or he could just be getting the Ring of Health for a Lincoln Sphere.
Yep, that's very true.
Move into a Lincoln Sphere, which isn't a bad item on Razor.
That would make a lot more sense now I think about it.
Not that there's a particularly large amount of lockdown on the side of AVANT, but I guess it would sort of stop the cask. But aside from the cask, it wouldn't really do much.
Okay, so No is being engaged upon at the bot. No, he's just going to back off for the time being. Very, very fast is this Razor with the unstable current, giving him 4% bonus movement speed. The supports of AVANT waiting at the bottom. And they have the Mystic Flare available. Lots of damage coming out from No, but there's the Witch Doctor ult. And, Mystic Flare completely misses. And the Weaver, yeah, he does time-lapse out. He almost died. So it was a close one. Pure Steel is in just a little bit too late. There goes the Fire Blast onto Weaver, and Voodoo Restoration going to top him back up along with the bottle charges. So well played by AVANT at the bottom. That Razor was farming quite well. 64 last hits. Now will be sent back to the base. 5,800 gold is what this Naga Siren is worth. She's almost got enough for that Sacred Relic, and like you said before, Logic, the game will change when that milestone is achieved.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that Naga Siren is literally 250 off of that Sacred Relic. Killing spree happening with Ogre Magi, and now M is going for Science as well, but the chicken's going to come out. M's got plenty of mana though, and he'll be able to come in. He'll try and do a little bit of nuke damage, but in 3 seconds there's going to be a time lapse. Not that he's going to need to use it. Razor's gone on to Brewmaster, who's just DP'd away in the mid lane, and that's something that I just need to point out that AVANT do so well that I don't usually see from other teams, especially in this LAN. It's just the reaction time. In the bottom lane when Razor was ganked, he took his time, he was a little bit worried, he panicked a little bit, he wondered whether to go forward, whether to go back. AVANT, with their experience, if something happens, they say, right, we do this right now like this, and that's what makes them the favourites in this situation.
Yeah, although we have to hand it to she said she was level 18. Their supports have had really nice reactions with the TPs. They're always there when they're needed. Sometimes a little too late, but works in the end. Sacred Relic now finished on K-Feeney. Just needs another about 1,000, a little bit less to finish off that Radiance. And AVANT going to be smoking forward. Are they going to catch out a Shadow Shaman and a Tide Hunter in the jungle? Ravage is available. blink a fair bit off for the Tidehunter. He's gone for the cloak just to try and survive the massive amount of magic damage coming out. And now the mid lane 3-on-3. Well, actually, Weaver's going to be coming in. And there's the primal split. And the Witch Doctor ultimate, the Death Ward, doing so much. Not Jesse. Will he get away? He barely lives because of that Ravage. And now Weaver is low as well. Going to time-lapse back, get his health. Pure Steel and Science trying to do what they can, and now Weaver's... Oh, nice stun! Fire Blast will lock down the Weaver, but the Swarm takes down the Viper in the end. Now Science getting whacked by Brewmaster. The ancestors of the the Shadow Shaman going to welcome him. Ends up being a 3-for-2 when all is said and done. Naga Siren was not involved at all. So a 5v4. And it ends up being a very even trade. A lot of cooldowns being used.
I like to point out the difference in the gold. Viper killing the Weaver was 415 gold, whereas Weaver killing the Viper was only 219 gold. So we're going to see a little bit of a change in the gold graphs. Yeah, we see it definitely does drop to Avant, but it's only 4,000. And if we remember at the start of the last game, that's what they were at the start of the last game. This game is actually a lot closer than it seems, even though it is 4-12. So overall, good play by, she said she was level 18, just getting those clutch plays when they need it. They're just going to need to do better in the team fights, better in their responses. They've got good communication, but they're really going to just take it that one little notch higher before they have a chance of turning this game around.
Yeah, K-Feeney now has the Radiance, so his farming is going to accelerate very hard. Already out-farming everyone else on the map. Brewmaster's going to start to fall off a little bit. As soon as he gets the Aghanims, he gets another Power Spike, and then the Blink Dagger to engage. And then at that point he starts to fall off. The tower in the mid is getting aggressed upon. Brewmaster trying to take down as many wards as he can. Gets Ether shocked. Here comes M coming in as well. Razor going forward very aggressively. There's the Song of the Siren coming out from the Naga, and she's going to be splitting up her illusions perfectly. Will we see the Ravage come out? It is not available for another 25 seconds. Beautifully done by AVANT. And Witch Doctor will get one down. The Mystic Flare, not going to do a whole heck of a lot because it was split over 2 targets, but no falling low as well. Double kill for Not Jesse on the Viper. He will end up falling, and it is a 4-for-2 in Avant's favor after the failed siege in the mid. The T1 is very low. I think, yeah, by 4, it's 4 health under the needed threshold to be denied, so they could go for that, but the T1 and the mid falling very quickly now.
I'd like to point out, 4-for-2 in a team fight, which did have Song Initiation and did not have Ravage, is actually pretty good.
Good guys. Middle tower got
to say, it's actually pretty good to, she said she was level 18, which are still putting a lot of pressure on the team here.
Yeah, that was really nice by AVANT to force that fight before the Ravage came up, because it has a notoriously long, not that long, 2.5 minutes. Still a fair chunk though, so nice initiation by K-Feeney. They defend their mid T1, they take the enemies. Are they going to deny this, I wonder? The defend pings are coming out, so they're going to try and hold it as long as possible to be kind of a bulwark against the aggression of, she said she was level 18. Require a bit of attention to get that one down. Meanwhile, K-Feeney just going to be demolishing the jungle. And yeah, she said she was level 18. They want that mid.
Middle tower is under attack. Guys,
guys. Very good deny coming out by the Skywrath Mage, picking out that mid tower with his reasonably low damage, like 73. Let's compare that to the Viper at 78. Let's compare that to the Razor at 90. Sorry, at 87.
Yeah.
And they just did really, really well on that tonight.
That was very cheeky. And now, oh no, he's going to stride straight into a Naga Siren and a Brewmaster. And there is the primal split. No, he needs to get out of there. He gets slowed down by the Brewmaster, and there he gets cycloned up. I think K-Feeney will be able to take this one down. He's actually going to get turned around on. Ethershock takes him down, and the Brewmaster should be reforming in a second, but now the artillery has arrived, and a strong artillery it is. Razor goes the way of the Skywrath Mage, 2 for 1. Unfortunate for she said she was level 18 to happen across the AVANT guys who were doing a bit of cheeky farming. The Mud Golem is the bane of Radiance farmers everywhere. as Weaver gets himself a DD rune, and now the bottom tier 1 looking like it will be in trouble. Not Jesse, doesn't have a TP scroll, does have the mechanism, and Pure Steel is still trying to work on his arcane boots. A lot of consumables. T1 in the bot will go down.
Yeah, these team fights are just, they're going in favour of AVANT, but they're only just going in favour of AVANT. I mean, 2 for 1s, 4 for 2s, it really is double, but she said she was level 18, really should be able to turn this around. We can see the ping on the Roche coming out now, while some of she said she was level 18 still deciding to push power. The second stack has been spotted in this jungle here, so they are going to be able to take this sort of half stack.
Yeah, it's a really nice ward coming out of She Said She Was Level 18 there. Give them some information as to what's going on. Does this tip them off that Roshan is coming? Yeah, they are going to go straight for it. Ravage is every cooldown is available for She Said She Was Level 18, but M is going for a 1v2 with that double damage rune. Not Jesse. Can he possibly get away? He does have mechanism. Urn of Shadows is used on him as well. Not Jesse, he's got to use the mechanism. There he goes to try and bait MM in, but the Geminate with the double damage rune, and now can they turn it around with the Ravage? No. M's just going to time lapse out of that one. Roshan has been stopped.
Jan pointing out the
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Confused about what's going on here. Yeah, they're not going to Roshan. It looks like they are going to go into the enemy jungle here, try and get a couple of kills. No is not in a very good position. They're going to be able to come right around No and maybe get an easy Razor. No, back off Razor.
Oh dear.
No, you don't want to be going this way. Oh, no.
Right.
Yeah, he's just going to sit there and farm, but he is going to deal a lot of damage to the Witch Doctor, who is going to find him. Fantasy is going to follow up. Oh, there are going to be more stuns coming out. Will he be able to get out? So close. He's not able to get out with the TP, thanks to the Mystic Flare being right on top of target. But the Brewmaster ult has been used to try and get the stun. The Hurl Boulder before the Razor could TP away, which means that Brewmaster ult is basically useless now that it's been used. Brewmaster has very little mana. Weaver is sticky mid, but it looks like nobody's going to put pressure.
Oh, She Said She Was Level 18. They're scrambling for some kind of income at the moment. They get punished when they take it. Are they going to start off the Roche? They're posturing for it. Every T1 is down, and the tier 2's not looking too healthy at all at the top. And, well, the other two are alright, but K-Feeney with that mirror image, yep, and the Radiance is just going to be able to push so hard. Boots of Travel now as well, so he can do so with impunity. Fantasy taking a lot of damage from the Roche, but here's the Voodoo Restoration, which is at level 4. And Roshan hitting quite slowly. I think that was the Drunken Haze. No, Thunderclap is going to make him attack slowly. And I don't think She Said She Was Level 18 can oppose this one. They do have all their cooldowns though if they decided to go for it.
Yeah, K-Fony is in the bottom lane pushing as that Naga Siren. Very good microing from the Naga Siren as well.
Another double damage rune on the Weaver. We've seen what he can do with that one. And there's K-Feeney going.
Roshan is still taking his time. None of these heroes, they've got a lot of staying power, but none of them have any sort of particular sort of damage. So they're just slowly chipping away at Roshan, and She says he'll completely
Yeah, they can't really go in on this one. I mean, they've got a lot of AoE, but maybe they're going to go for it. No, okay, Tidehunter's going to back away. Roche will be going over to AVANT, going down very, very slowly with no real right-click damage there. But why are they taking so long?
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
There's the Aegis of the Immortal on the ground. Skywrath will pick that one up. Of all people, he's got the Staff of Wizardry, probably going for Force Staff, which we saw earlier on. And there's the Lincolns for the Weaver.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Lincoln's on the Weaver is going to make him infinitely harder to lock down. The only hero that could have done a good job is Shadow Shaman, which no longer can now. Weaver's going to go into the enemy jungle, and he is going to be spotted, but he's just going to time-lapse out of there. It is on a reasonably low 50-second cooldown, and now Brewmaster is going to go for that Viper. And the Shadow Shaman has been lifted up. Viper does have the mech though, which he is able to cast. Ixor does come in, does get the ultimate on him, but Shadow Shaman and Viper going down for that Skywrath Mage, who is going to live. No is trying to steal as much damage as he can, trying to turn this around, but M gets the double kill. M's going to turn it around. He's going to go on for No. Is he going to be able to get the triple kill? Triple kill for that Weaver, and now they're able to push down the mid lane.
Oh, K-Feeney again not even involved in that one. He's picked himself up the Yasha, so going right past the Diffusal, and Avant just steamrolling over. She said she was level 18. That Aegis really comes in handy for the Suicide Skywrath Mage. Actually going for the Rod of Atos, it looks like, with the Vitality booster. Bit of tankiness never hurt anyone, that's for sure. Aghanim Scepter finished by Mr. Weirdface, so the ward damage going to be bouncing around, doing even more AoE. And that will be the tier 2 going down, and the rest surely to follow here. Logic, the bottom one going to die to K-Feeney's efforts, and the top one is low enough to be denied, but I don't think she said she was level 18 even going to get that chance.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the experience graphs. We're well over 15,000 now, almost 20,000 on the experience, and 15,000 on the gold, headed in the direction of AVANT. They've really just continued the pressure, and this is the definition of snowball. If you were to check snowball in the Dota 2 dictionary, you would see this game in there, because they have just constantly propelled. There is a deny, which will be a little bit good. Not Jesse will try and deal a lot of the damage onto this Witch Doctor, but Witch Doctor will just turn around and ultimate him, and he'll take a lot of damage, but he's also got his Voodoo Restoration up as well. Triple kill coming out from that Voodoo Doctor. Will M be able to follow up onto Ixor? There's a blink in from Fantasy. Oh, a good stun coming out from Pure Steel. Won't actually save him, but Pure Steel will put himself in a bad position. Then he goes down. That's a full team wipe. Where's M? Not Jesse, trying to get Jan, but not actually getting him. And now moving into try and get someone else. The Brewmaster's going to be back very shortly though. Now he's going to try and go for the M. The Brewmaster actually missing a no, he does get his clap. Not Jesse trying to run and giving the kill to M, and that has to be GG.
Yeah, I don't think there's much that she said she was level 18 can do at this point. That was a flyback from Viper, and it didn't achieve a whole heck of a lot. And there's the GG's being called. Avant once again coming out with a strong showing, and oh, just like that, they had the late game, but they didn't even need it.
Yeah, definitely, and it really did come down to the mid-game. When they started early, they started really well, but it was just those tiny little plays that made a little bit of a difference, and as they snowballed, they got into the mid-game. We saw a 17-minute Radiance from the Naga Siren. That basically meant that it was GG.
Okay, so thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a little while with some more Canberra Dota 2 action. This is Cold Blood and Only Logic signing out.
Thank you, guys.